Welcome back to the DraftKings Life podcast. I'm Rebecca, a recruitment marketing senior specialist.
And I'm Max, a talent acquisition specialist.
And this episode is great for when you're preparing to interview with us because we are talking with three fantastic hiring managers who are here to provide you with some great advice, tips, and more insight into our process.
We're excited to introduce Tom, Nehal, and Emily.
Hey, great to be here. Hi, I'm Tom. I've been at DraftKings for about a little over 7 years now, and it's been an amazing experience.
Hi, I'm Nehal. I'm an engineering manager here at DraftKings, coming up to my 3-year mark very soon. So my team is one of the marketing platform teams. We own the promotion and rewards journey of the user. So it's any promotions that you see across DraftKings is pretty much supported by my team.
I'm Emily Kroll. I work on the media partnerships team at DraftKings, and I'm coming up on my 5-year anniversary. The media partnerships team specifically does exactly that. We partner with big media outlets, and I mainly support the TV sponsorship side as well as the digital media side.
Awesome. Now let's dive right into the advice you have for candidates. What are some skills people need to have to thrive on our teams?
Yeah, as an engineering team over here, specifically one that owns one of the user-facing products, my team really cares about delivering the best user experience to the user and to our customers. So what we're looking for is like highly motivated, highly talented individuals that can join in and sort of those who are like willing to learn and grow on the team. As long as if you have the skills, you can always pick up on the domain knowledge on the team itself. So that's pretty much what we're looking for.
On the media partnerships team specifically, I would say maybe applicable to marketing as a whole. One of the biggest skill sets, I would say, is like strong communication skills, given the amount of times we are on calls with external facing partners. So being able to communicate effectively with the partner and build that type of partnership mindset is a key aspect of the role that I expect everybody who is applying to the role to have. I would say, in addition to that, like a good skill, I'm confident I could teach you it, but a good skill to have too is a media planning mindset. So when we are dealing with a lot of partners that work on a sports calendar, we have to be sure that our media is airing correctly at all times. So making sure that you have that media planning expertise is a huge win if you're applying to a role on our team.
For my team and the way we run and what we work on, it's video production for the business, right? So it is having skills of working in not only a live television environment, but also a post-production house.
So what about questions now? I know I really encourage curiosity and questions from candidates. What are one or two of the best questions you've gotten from candidates?
I think honestly, one of the better questions I've gotten recently, which is what is the culture like at the company, and what is the culture? How would the culture impact me? Not only what they could do for the company, but what the company can do for them as they grow as a young professional. And I thought that was a really cool moment in an interview and a really good question to get.
On my end, I would say one of the best questions I've ever gotten is like, how can I go above and beyond in the role? I think especially since we work on partnerships, marketing, and with like a bunch of different accounts, going above and beyond for partners is 100% necessary in order to be successful in the role. So knowing that person had identified like what immediate skills they need to be able to do the job, but then also think about it in terms of like, how can I go above and beyond to be the best person I can be at this job and make sure our partnerships are well taken care of, just showed such an initiative from me that was impressive in an interview.
I think as much as we are looking at you in terms of whether or not you'll be the right fit for the team, for the company, I think questions that reflect that the candidate is also trying to do the same for like this next job switch is also good. So just like learning their like whatever is the motivation, right, for the job switch. So be it career growth, work-life balance, just like asking the right questions to make sure that, you see it as the right fit as well. And we match out on that front. And yeah, as Tom said, questions that are along the lines of, hey, how can I be successful at this? Or what do I need to do for the first 3 months or like the first year or like at this particular role are really good. They show that you're action oriented, you're really looking at setting up the right goals, right right ahead, right from that first moment, you're really excited to join the company and start contributing. So that's been some of the good questions that I've gotten in these rounds.
Those are all great questions. I hope you guys get those every time you go through an interview now. But what's your overall advice for candidates coming to interview with us? Are there any good ways to stand out? We touched that a little bit in the last question. Or are there any things to avoid as well?
On my end, I would say I ask every single person that interviews for a role on our team or an adjacent marketing team this question. And it's like, have you downloaded our app? It should be a slam dunk. Like, my expectation of you when you are interviewing for a job at this company is that you have downloaded our app. I am not saying you have to make a deposit, place a bet, play around. Like, no, like I would really appreciate it if you had downloaded it, scrolled through, have a basic understanding of the product that I am expecting you to market with all of our partners. I don't see a world where you can be successful in this role if you don't have at least the basic understanding coming in of our apps. We are required to build engaging sponsorship content across multiple high-profile media platforms. Basic knowledge of the app is required to do so. So I can not express how many times I have been in an interview and I've asked that question. Somebody has just said no. It will definitely be a setback, I would say, if you haven't gone through the steps to do so.
One of the biggest things that will make you stand out is consuming the content, asking the questions that kind of speak to the individual roles on the team and how they would integrate themselves into those roles, I think is very smart. And then I think also just asking questions that are like, what's on the horizon? What is the next big thing you're working on that they can prioritize the minute they enter the door, I think is also pretty smart.
Yeah, I'll echo what Tom said, is be honest. That also applies to engineering rounds or technical rounds as well, or even behavioral rounds. Just if you don't know an answer, it's fine. You don't need to know every single answer on the interview, but just learn to say no instead of just making stuff up on the spot. That's one red flag I see. I just wanted to give some context in terms of how rounds are split up a little bit for engineering over here. So we have a split of like technical and behavioral rounds. Depending on your role, you might have more technical rounds than behavioral and vice versa. So for technical rounds, what we're looking for is your understanding of object-oriented concepts, your high-level technical design skills, all of this, again, there's a lot of internet resources available for you to be able to like learn on those. But on the behavioral side, what I've seen is people tend to not give it as much emphasis as the technical rounds, especially for engineering interviews. And that's where I think they make a mistake, because as much as we're looking for the right like talented individual with the right skills, we're also looking to see if you're going to be the right team fit or like the right cultural fit for DK. So for things like these, what I would suggest is just like, using very specific situations or experience from your past or examples. They're really good for like these behavioral questions. So that always helps. If you're anything like me and you don't have a great memory recall, then, create a bank of situations that would help you highlight your, experience or your skill set that just like come in really handy for some of these rounds. And one other thing I wanted to add over there is for engineering specifically, we have gone to great length to make sure that our interviews don't require you to have a lot of sports knowledge. So if you're preparing for engineering interviews specifically, you don't necessarily need to stress about that. We want to make sure that we are hiring the right engineers, right? You can, as I said, you can always learn on the job. So just focus on the right things. Don't stress about sports knowledge, and then be honest, be yourself.
So I love talking career growth. That was one of the questions I asked when I interviewed at DraftKings, and I love to talk about it with candidates as much as I can. I think it's really important. So curious, what would you all say career growth looks like on each of your teams?
For engineering roles, I think our TA does a great job at like hiring some of the best like young talent into the teams. We've seen some co-ops, some SEs like get promoted into like senior roles very quickly into their careers. So that sort of like goes on to show that at DraftKings especially, there's not like a minimum requirement for the number of years on your back or anything. As long as like you show ownership and you show the skills. If you're willing to, showcase that, and you're willing to like own the product, and we have a pause in terms of like acting like an owner. So if you do showcase that, then it's up to you, and you can grow into your career into like higher level roles very easily. But yeah, that's it's on the effort you put in.
Growth on the marketing team, and more so like the media partnerships team, is all based off of ownership, willingness to go above and beyond, and scope expansion. So trying to identify different pockets within the team, organization, et cetera, where we can really find a path for you to grow. That growth is, I would say, a lot of times dependent on the deals that we're working on and the partnerships that we're working on. So sometimes there is that contingency that growth, I see a huge path for growth on this team, and we've never been slow in terms of like what partnerships we're working on. But I would say a lot of times growth is dependent on the evolution and how we grow different partnerships as well.
It's a great question to ask. Your career growth is kind of what you make of it, given what you're working on for the day and how much ownership you put into the things you're working on and what you've delegated to others on the team, or collaborate on with other groups around the business.
And all of you have been here for quite a while. So what makes DraftKings a great place to work?
I think for me, it's the people, and then the challenges that come with working at a company like this.
Yeah, I'll double down on that. On the engineering side as well, we're always looking to solve complex problems, and DraftKings has sort of no doubt that we're always trying to innovate, always trying to figure out like what's like the next big thing to work on. Which there's no shortage of the right things to be working on, which keeps things exciting for us.
In terms of our day-to-day here at DraftKings, it can be a challenge. I like a challenge. I like waking up every single day in this job and trying something different, working with external partners to solve problems, working with my peers to solve problems. I really like the people I work with, and there's nobody else I'd rather face challenges with.
This was a fantastic episode, everyone. I know that candidates find all of your answers super valuable. So thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today.
Thank you.
Having us.
Thank you.
And thank you for listening. Make sure to follow us on social media at DraftKings Life, except for LinkedIn, where we're simply DraftKings. This podcast is available on all major podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, Google. We got you. Be sure to download, listen, and even throw us a 5-star rating. Thanks so much and have a great day.